Thank you, Tom Garcia, for joining us. I'm Andrew Menser, the Executive Director for the West Central Mountains Economic Development Council. And as part of our COVID-19 task force initiative, we're doing our best to get the word out about the good work being done across our business community. And one of our primary goals for our group is to make sure that we're sharing good information and best practices from our businesses. So welcome, Tom. And Tom is the president and general manager of Sure Lodge. We're just going to ask him a few questions and learn about what Sure Lodge is doing to prepare for having guests coming this summer. So Tom, thanks for being with us. First question is, what have you done to prepare for guests and visitors so far?
Well, there was a lot of planning that had to happen and trying to create our new normal here. So as we went through a lot of information from various organizations, and again, it's trying to earn the trust back from the guests and trying to earn the trust from the staff. I mean, because there was a lot of fear out there when COVID came along. So that educational piece is very important to us. So what we did is we bought a lot of PPE to ensure that everybody's safety was at the top of our list there. And in that, we educated the staff on, okay, what does this mean? How do we use it? Where we're going to use it? So what I did, we put together these mock training and just say, okay, here's what a check-in's going to look like. And so when someone's pulling into our drive, what are the touch points? What is the sanitation? What are we going to do when we valet park a car? That type of deal. So it's an education process that we had to put across to everybody to make sure that everybody understood, like I said, what the new normal is and really what it's going to be like.
That's great. That's great. So what's been your response so far from your customers?
Well, I think it's been great. We opened up on Saturday. We are very protected. Some of our guests think that maybe we're wearing too much. Hey, can you take the mask off? Or can you do this? And I say, no. I said, we're not only doing it for you, we're doing it for us too. Until we get some more data points and we figure out what's actually going out there with COVID, et cetera, we're going to follow the guidelines that were set forth through Idaho Rebound and kind of take those. And I think we're taking that, in my opinion, that extra step. And so our customers and our guests are here. They're just happy to be back, but they're trying to figure out the new normal too.
Great. So of all the things you guys have done, and it sounds like you've done a lot to really get prepared for this, what do you think has worked best for you, and what things are you tinkering with or changing as you go?
Well, like I said, I think the mock trainings really helped out. Everybody understanding what they needed to do and hired additional positions called awareness ambassadors. And they go around in lab coats and they have basically a checklist to make sure that we're all walking our part. You know, we're doing what we said we were going to do. We're keeping everybody safe. So I think that has helped out a lot. We tested all our employees for the live test. Over 180 prior to opening up on Saturday. And we tested probably about half of them for the antibody test through Crush the Curve. It was very important for us as a community leader to say, okay, here's what we're doing to protect our staff, but here's what we're doing as an organization to protect our guests, members, and employees coming to see us as we opened up. It gave the staff, I think, a great, not a sense of relief, but they just felt better. And I know it's a point in time. We're going to plan to do another one probably in mid-June as we staff up for the season because we're a seasonal property. And I'll probably have about 50 to 60 seasonal employees coming in, but it's very important for us all to be on the same page and do what we need to do to help the community and help Valley County.
Absolutely. Yeah. It sounds like you're making some really good moves there and staying right ahead of it. Where did you find the information that you've been using to build this kind of new normal plan for you? I'm sure it's coming from a lot of places, but what's been your best resources?
Well, we start with Idaho Rebounds as, you know, because we needed a guideline. I've been on many calls with colleagues, friends, and as I look around, the American Hotel and Lodging Association, that's a big piece. Your group, you know, the West Central Mountain Economic Development, what they do, because there's a lot of informational exchange. I've been working with St. Luke's, in particular, Dr. Kenny, very useful for me. And I know he works with Dr. Irving and Amber, but they've been putting a lot of pieces together. What I hear from the staff, true. What I get from my home office, there's just so much information that's out there, and to try to put those pieces together, some overlap in some respects, but a lot of it helps me make those decisions that I need to make sure that, again, that we're safe and everybody feels good about what we're doing. So this new normal that we're getting into could help us all, because we all want to get back to business, and that's a very important part of it, but we want to do it, as everybody said, safely.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Sage wisdom there for sure. So, one of the hard questions we've asked a few different businesses in the region is what do you plan to do if there's an infection known to have been present from either a guest or from your staff? What's your response to that look like?
Well, if we do get an infection, obviously working with St. Luke's, there's things we need to do. It's the isolation is the big piece right there, but we'll work with the Central Health District, District 4, for the trace and track, obviously to make sure it's right. We're looking for signs from individuals, that people that have come in, and just to make sure that we're doing the right thing, but it's a slippery slope. We just opened up. We're hoping our area, especially Valley County, can stay, lack of a better word, free of what we've been going through. But we're going to be very good stewards to what we have to do. So if it's isolation, if it requires me to close an outlet for 48 hours or 72 is what they recommend, and to get back in there, sanitation, things that we're doing, we're going to do the right thing, not just for business sense, just for humanity. I guess that's the word I want to say. But it's very important that we're working in conjunction with, just like if we would have received a negative test from the testing that we just did, we would have been working with Central Health District and taking their guidance and working alongside with them. And again, with St. Luke's, who's been very, very instrumental in what we're doing here.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of interesting information coming out, but there's been really good guidance from Central District Health Department and the partners you mentioned as well. So we're really lucky to have those folks in our community.
Totally.
Last question is, what have you learned from this kind of broader experience, and what are you going to do with the information you've gleaned from this to make your business a better operation in the future?
Well, as everybody says, it's been new. I've been doing what I've been doing for quite a few years, and hurricanes, earthquakes, 9/11, the Zika virus that we had in the Curacao property. This one right here is just, it's a different playbook. I think what we've learned is we're going to plan as far as PPE equipment goes. We will take the guidance from the government and having at least a month's supply out there. So we're in pretty good shape in that vein. But the key is that there's a lot of things that we do in our business, and I call them 101s. It's just like kitchen sanitation. We look at it, but it's really, that's what you should be doing all the time. Or when we wipe tables off, or we're checking in guests, or we see some that's maybe not feeling well. A lot of that stuff, remember when we used to do this? Remember when we used to do that? Well, you got to bring all that back. I mean, and you have to be doing it, and you have to do it all the time, because that's what business is about. So what I've learned from this is that the staff are resilient. They know how to dance on their feet. They know how to work with our guests, because I've always said, Andrew, I've always been member, employee, and guest centric. That's what I thought. And I've been learning from myself. I've been trying to get workaround ways of like, well, I know we can do this, but let's do this for the guests, because the guest was always right. The member was already right. And same as our employees. But I stopped doing those workarounds because, hey, if you got a temperature and you can't work, you cannot work. There's no change in that. So what I'm telling my staff is, hey, let's stay the course. Let's not do workarounds. and sometimes things that we're doing that we used to do before in the old normal are not the new normal. And I think people will understand that.
Absolutely, yeah. That's a great parting thought. A heightened awareness, and then really drilling down on those best practices for the greater good. That's excellent. So, Tom, I really appreciate your time today and your guidance and your wisdom. It's always a pleasure to chat with you. Any parting thoughts before we sign off here?
No, I just want to say thank you for having me on, and I appreciate what you guys are doing. This is, we think about McCall, Idaho. We just think about Idaho in general. And like I said, I've been around a lot, but I think the business leaders and the community and the outreach is just awesome here. I mean, I couldn't be in a better place, and I'm just grateful for that. And I always tell my family, like, someone's got to pinch me, because even we got all this beauty outside here too. So that's my parting thought.
Great. Thank you so much, Tom. You have a really good rest of your day, and we appreciate your time.
Thank you. Take care. See ya.
Bye-bye.
We need your help to protect this mountain playground. Please practice social distancing, wear a mask, and wash your hands frequently when you visit. Recreate responsibly and spread love, not COVID.